Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Conversations. I think I'm going to call this Conversations in the Loft because I'm just sitting here in the loft, and I pretty much never get to leave here except to go get some groceries every now and then. But wanted to say thank you so much for joining us and listening in. I had the opportunity this last week to join one of our wonderful consultants, Lynn, and I've invited her to come onto the call today and share a little bit about what we did. But we did a booking blitz. And so just to give a definition of what a booking blitz is, it is a concentrated effort into just a small amount of time. And in fact, what we did, it lasted about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. But what we did, that was with training around it and different things. But what we did is we created 3 different segments of 8 minutes, 8-minute sprints that were all about booking beauty breaks, all about booking beauty breaks, not scrolling on Facebook, not doing these things, not distracted by anything, but breaking down 3 8-minute sprints and really focusing on booking beauty breaks, not selling, not doing anything, but booking for the future. And we had some really good success out of that. And I'm going to let Lynn speak to that. And then I actually have 2 guests, not just one tonight, or tonight, whenever you're watching this. And we're going to talk about what success looks like, how to overcome some of those fears that everyone has to reach out and ask for help. So without further ado, I want to introduce Lynn. And Lynn, what kind of spurred this thought on to start a booking blitz before we talk about some of the success that it was?
Well, I have to tell you, it all started with Lindsay Tompkins. I watched and listened and re-listened, and it was her last Facebook Live that she did for us. And I'm so grateful that Rick provided that for us. When she said, you can do hard things. And she also talked about perfectionism and procrastination and all of the things we do to keep us busy, thinking we're working when really and truly, and this is something I know, and I know you know, that the core of our business is selling events with 2, 3, 4 or more people, not one-on-ones. Those are great, but I loved how she taught. Go to the basics. Get a hostess coach her. Have her get 4 or 5 or 6 friends on the call and on the Zoom. And I just was like, okay, we know what to do. And she just lit a fire under my what. And I was like, we have all got to do this. So I wanted to prove to myself first that I'm going to do this. I'm going to use her words. I changed it a tiny bit. What I put in my text was, will you host a virtual tour event for me? It's 1 hour long Zoom in June. And I sent that out to 7 people and got 6 yeses. And, some other things have happened since then. But I was like, okay, you just have to ask simply and ask for what you want, and don't feel like you have to sugarcoat it or beg or just simply ask for what you want. And so that's how it kind of came about, is watching Lindsay on that Thursday, talking to a few of my leaders on Friday about let's do this, and then actually launched it on that following Tuesday night. And it was so exciting. It was so exciting.
Lynn, that's fantastic. And just a couple of things that I want to kind of have follow-up questions on. That was a lot of information. And I want to touch on a couple things here that you said. you said fear, procrastination, a few things. And first, you talked about Lindsay Tompkins. And so if you're watching this back, and who Lindsay Tompkins is, if you haven't had a chance to watch her trainings that she did 4 different trainings for us. They're on the YouTube channel. So if you're watching this back, we're posting this, you're probably watching this on YouTube. It's on this channel. So just scroll down in the True Aura YouTube, watch her 4 things. They're about 30 to 45 minutes long each. Over a 4-day period, you can knock those out. Maybe even one in the afternoon if you can kind of set aside that amount of time. Maybe don't watch Netflix tonight and you'll be able to watch Lindsay Tompkins. I hear she's all the new rave that everybody's binging. But so that's who Lindsay Tompkins is. Second, and she really equips your business well and thinks of ways to grow your business in the times that we're in. So, but she talked about procrastination and overcoming fears and the perfectionism. How long have you been doing beauty, like this, the beauty business and direct sales, Lynn?
Oh goodness, over 30 years.
Over 30 years. And yes. Would you say that you still have some fears and procrastinations that you deal with?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely do. The whole virtual and putting myself out there, and oh yeah, I was definitely guilty of all of that, of the procrastinating and trying to get it perfect, and the fear of technical issues with Zoom, and because I've had some of those in the past and it terrified me, but it's just practice and do it anyway. Just don't let the fear stifle me and hold me back from being the best I can be.
And what I find is that people are more forgiving than we give them credit for. Yeah. And I can imagine too that during this time and kind of transitioning your business more to a virtual business, it's almost been like relaunching and starting all over again. Mm-hmm. And so you started with this booking blitz and you provided an opportunity for everyone on your team, or what was it? And how did you reach out to everyone?
Yes. Well, I posted on the Facebook group, Budjenska World Facebook group, that we were having a surprise event, and there were going to be prizes and surprises. I did give everyone a hint to have their list ready. I believe that I mentioned that, but most came on without a list, and they were kind of like, oh, and they booked anyway, So I posted it there. I wanted to send an email to the entire group, but didn't have time to do that. And so just kind of talked it up and promoted it a couple of days before the Zoom.
And about how many people ended up jumping on your Zoom?
We had about 21 on the Zoom.
So 21 total people that showed up for a Zoom booking blitz.
Right.
So,
and they were real curious about what the prizes and surprise was, and you were the surprise. So it was kind of cool because you were knocking on the door after I started, and you walked in. So it was really cool for us to kind of be together doing this, even social distancing. So, yes. And you sure sweetened the pot too, Phillip.
Oh, well, I do what I can. And so anyone out there, if you're wanting to do a booking blitz with your team, please reach out. I'd love to show up on Zoom. I was able to show up with Lynn because she's only about 20 minutes away, and we socially distance. But I'd love to show up on your Zoom and be able to help out with that. And so now let's talk a little bit about what you challenge them with starting out the Zoom. And then we're going to get into our second guest, and because I want to talk a little bit about what the success is and how the people on the call or on the Zoom overcame some of their own fears.
Good. Well, when I kicked off the booking blitz, I said, okay, there's only one thing I want you to know right now. And this is the only concern and the only thing I want you to do and think about. And that is write down these 10 words. the 10 words from Lindsay. Will you host, let's see, where is it? Do you want to book a beauty break with me? Okay. And then I added in June because it's such a great opportunity this month, but it's a great opportunity any month. And so I said, that is all I want you to do. And then I gave them what exactly I texted to my friends, and they had a choice. So I said, don't worry about what you're going to do during the Zoom beauty break. Don't worry about hostess coaching. Don't worry about how you're going to close. The only thing I want you to be concerned about is sending this message out to your friends, family, customers, neighbors, anyone you know who you think might want to have a beauty break with you.
Because you can't host coach unless you have a beauty break in the first place, right? It's almost like a funnel. Exactly. You might end up getting 9, 10 parties or beauty breaks, and then it funnels down a little bit because some people might fall out, and it's okay. That's going to happen. Or they might postpone or reschedule or whatever it might be, but you cannot host coach them unless you have them in the first place. And so what this was about, what I looked at it as was filling the funnel. And so whenever we think about that funnel, how many beauty breaks came out of this booking blitz with 21 people? How your funnel of your team, how many beauty breaks were scheduled?
Well, just from that, the 3 8-minute sessions, we booked 42, I believe. And if you include mine, that was 50. And then I asked everyone to share with me, because I told them, I said, you're not going to get a response from everyone within this time period. You'll get them after our Zoom tonight and even tomorrow. So be sure and let me know as you get yeses that you got them, so that we can, celebrate this together. So by the next morning, there were 60.
Wow. So 60 new beauty breaks that are put into the funnel. And really, if you look at it and you say, even if 60% of those, 60, 70% of those are held this month on Zoom, and these were Zoom beauty breaks, what an amazing thing to your downline. So speak to other leaders out there, because I want to speak to leaders and consultants alike. Speak to other leaders of why they should be doing this.
Well, if they want to charge up their business and give people a reason to get going, there's nothing like the energy of a group, even in a Zoom, and the competition and just watching it happen and unfold. And when you hear, oh, well, Beth booked another one, I'm going to get one now, I'm going to send this out to this. It's just a great platform to engage your team members to do this.
And it was fun.
Drawings. Oh, everyone said it was so much fun. It was so funny. One of the participants said, oh, all afternoon, she said, I was hoping my phone would die, or I would get locked in the back room or something like that. She was like, oh, I just want to come up with an excuse not to show up. And I'm sure there were a lot who just plain didn't show up. And you know what? That's okay. Work with those who showed up and challenge them and offer fun things to participate. And, after the first few, it's like, oh, this is fun. I like this. Whoa, I got another one. It's just, it was amazing. It was so much more fun and so much more productive than I thought it would be.
And so every single time that somebody got a beauty break, they wrote in the chat, right?
They wrote in the chat. There were 3 of us. So Hector was writing everyone's names. Every time someone got a booking, they wrote it in the chat. He would write the name down on a little piece of paper, put it in the drawing thing. And boy, he was having a hard time keeping up with it the first couple of segments.
Oh, it was a fast sprint for sure.
It was fast. It was really fast. It was so much fun. So between him helping out there and you doing all of this wonderful motivation for us and inspiration. And me, I was just like, whoa, this is great.
You were the
And then,
ringleader. You were the ringleader.
oh, it was awesome. It was awesome.
You were
Yeah.
like the Hugh Jackman in Greatest Showman. You were just the three-ring circus that you keeping us all moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So Hector helped out a lot, and he was writing down a ton of names. Whose name did he write down the most?
Well, I tell you, this fantastic leader, Beth Padgett, kept showing up. Oh, there's another one for Beth. Beth, okay, here's another one for Beth. Oh, and people were going, they were like, oh, I'm going to get another one. Oh, 2 more for Beth. And then before it was over, I believe your name was in the drawing 7 times. Is that right, Beth?
Yes.
And
Or
so,
8.
so that transitions us to our second guest. And Lynn, thank you so much for sharing and putting this together. It isn't easy to put together, and you have to kind of put yourself out there as a leader. And what I will also tell you, and we'll talk about this throughout and kind of to wrap up, you don't have to have a team to do this. You can do this individually. It's about concentrated effort for 20 to 30 minutes and just going for it. Because the true gift, yes, we had some prizes that we gave away and different things in the raffle, but the true benefit of it is the sales that come out of the beauty breaks. Because the average party, especially on Zoom, has about $400. And if somebody has 7, 8, 9 bookings that come out of that, you're talking about a pretty significant amount of money that you can earn in that 30 minutes of concentrated effort of filling your funnel. So, Beth, I want to just yield the floor to you a little bit. Obviously, we've talked a little bit, but I just want to yield it to you and just, what were you thinking going into this? How did you prepare for it? Having that many yeses in 30 minutes had to be exciting for you. It had to create some kind of momentum, as well as just, were there any fears or barriers that you had to overcome coming into this? And so I'll just yield it to you and kind of let you take the floor here and share from a consultant basis and a team member basis of what you saw the benefit of this evening.
Okay, thank you, Phillip. Well, I told them the truth beforehand, so I'll tell you, I always jump on our team buttle in any meeting that Lynn has, because it's always inspirational, especially in this time when we don't get to meet up with people very often. So I was like, booking Blitz, okay, booking, I guess, I didn't prepare anything. I just thought, let me show up and see what's going on. I'm a pretty competitive person, and I think a lot of people are. And so the way that Lynn and Phillip set this up, where it was like talking about the beauty break, Lynn gave us guidance. And even though I've been doing this 30 plus years, yes, the whole virtual scene, having Lindsay has been fantastic. I've already watched all of her episodes once and going on twice, and that's not something I ever do, is watch somebody twice. So she's fantastic. But I was thinking, okay, I got to get some business. The day that everything shut down, I had a huge in-person beauty break, and I had another one scheduled for this coming Saturday, which has since canceled because our numbers are rising, unfortunately. So I thought, okay, let me just try this. So I just quickly wrote a text, and I just put, since you are loving the True Aura products, I was wondering, will you, and I think that that's a key, not can you, but will you host a True Aura Zoom beauty break with me in June? And I just put 4 to 6 friends, 1 hour, gifts for you. Copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. So I just went down my text list and sent it to clients, clients that I talk to often. Some have been clients for years. Some were friends first through PTA or whatever. And they just started, they started responding. Well, sure, of course I will. And one of them wasn't even a product user. And she's like, I love makeup. I don't care if I've used it. Sure, I'll do that. And I think I was blown away, because these are people that I assumed I had already asked to do a beauty break, and obviously I had not. Or else I had posted something or mentioned it in passing or sent them the little hostess chart or something. But what a lesson to learn that the easiest way to get a beauty break, especially from a client and or friend, is to ask. I mean, that just really, it took all these years and Lindsay and all of that just to get to that point. And I stopped and thought about it, and I thought, well, yeah, I have friends that do other businesses and I've never done one for them. But if they were to ask me that point blank, I would say yes. So often people are so busy, or they think that you have all the business you can handle, which we know is never true. And they aren't going to necessarily jump up, even if we have a lucrative and fabulous hostess plan, but just asking personally. So I got that evening 8 yeses, and the next day another. One backed off because she wants to do it in person, and long story. And then I had another who has a COVID thing going on in her office. So I do have, actually starting tomorrow night, 3 in a row. So I am nervous for tomorrow night, even though I have done millions of beauty breaks in person. I've even done my own on Zoom, and I don't know why I'm nervous, but I am. And I think it's just because I haven't done it yet. But I'm happy that I have one Thursday night and then Friday night. And by then, voila, I'll have it down. I have one for next week, and I believe the other 2 in July. So they didn't all happen in June, but that's okay. They're happening. And I've scheduled them on the back office, which is super easy to use, and set a Zoom link up, and I've sent them an invitation to text out. So all that they have to do is just invite friends and show up.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations, Beth. And like I said earlier, the real, I guess, benefit of this, yes, you won a couple gifts and had fun with it, and is the ongoing, because those 7 different beauty breaks that you scheduled in that hour, that could easily turn into 15, 16, 17, 20 different beauty breaks after people come to these and want to maybe book their own with their friends.
And that's exactly what I'm thinking. Way back in the day, I actually did that from one in-person beauty break, and I tracked, hundreds of clients from just that one. So I plan on doing that this time, and really emphasizing that and following up and just being there with them and seeing how it just explodes my business. Because I've always said I am a procrastinator and I'm a hard worker, but I can also be a real lazy girl if I want to. So, if I don't have something right in front of me. And I tell you what, though, that the competition part of it was so fun, and I really encourage leaders to do that. Phillip and Lynn were very generous, and I'm looking for my good stuff coming in the mail. I'm not going to lie. I like to win, and it was fun to put I have one more. It was like a race. It was like running a race. And that several people, even the quieter ones, have said the same thing. It's like, oh my gosh. And then we're congratulating each other. And, so that dynamic of that, I would have never predicted that could have been as great as it was. So thank y'all.
That's fantastic. And so and really, whenever you think about it, it's the gift that keeps on giving of the 24-minute concentrated effort in the sprint of saying, I can do this for a short amount of time. We're not asking for a marathon. We're asking for a short sprint and saying, hey, don't rob someone the opportunity to help you. Because I know during this time, I've gone out of my way to help small businesses and different things. And for you to realize you are a small local business that other people can help support. And so what was the power of getting over the hurdle of asking people? And I find it is, I'll share a quick story. In being a middle-aged guy, dating and all that, and how to ask someone out and all that. And there's times where I'm like, yeah, I asked her out and she wasn't interested. And then later I came back and I was like, maybe I wasn't as clear as I thought I was in asking her out, and because she's like, oh yeah, you never asked me out, or whatever it might be. And I'm like going, well, in my mind, I definitely asked her out, but in her ears never heard, would you like to go on a date? And so same thing in the direct sales world. I think in our mind, the verbiage that we're saying and the words that come out of our mouth sound like we're asking them on a date or we're asking them to do a beauty break for us, but their ears heard something completely different. So the overcoming the barrier of just asking for what you want, what did that look like for you? And what momentum, once you started getting some of those yeses back, what did that do for you for the balance of the night? And then also for your business going forward, because even though you've done this for years and years, I would imagine that that was almost a pivotal moment for you of saying, I'm going to start doing this once a month. I'm going to start doing this on a regular basis of just that your own personal booking blitz.
Right. Well, I tell you, the momentum for that evening that was very interesting. I hadn't thought about this till you asked, but I went through the list and asked super warm leads first, like, oh, I bet, and then because people were starting to beat me, then I'm like, okay, I've got to send more. And so then the ones I hesitated on the first go through, I'm like, well, what the heck? All they can say is no. And some did. Some came back and said, Beth, I just, I can't, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to do that. But, and I'm like, not a problem. No, no problem at all. And so, yeah, I started asking a wider variety of people. I think I sent out 27 texts in total, and some have been ignored, which is, that's okay. Doesn't bother me. We'll talk again. It'll all be fine. But going forward, I think that whole direct will you, especially on Zoom, doing Zoom, like I said, is just showing up. You don't have to clean your house. You don't have to cook. I mean, that was a lot of pressure doing, in-face beauty breaks, because people think they have to be Martha Stewart and make it all divine. And on Zoom, you don't even have to wear pants. So, just show up, bring your friends and your drink and show up. And so, I feel, and I feel like once I get these 3 down coming up, that it's just going to roll. Hey, I might make executive manager after all.
Woohoo!
That's even better.
Despite myself.
That's even better. Well, as many of you know, I love a good quote and motivation. And I found this quote the other night, and it said, every great human achievement is preceded by an extended periods of dedication and concentrated effort. So every great human achievement is preceded by extended periods of dedication and concentrated effort. And for me, that's what really described the evening of concentrated effort and dedication. If you want to have achievement, if you want to have the EM promotion, if you want a certain thing, if you have a desire in your heart, you have to do the behavior to create that. It's not playing the lottery of going, I'm going to go write down these numbers and hope that it happens. It truly is, if I want this, then I better do the behaviors beforehand. It's like it says here, it's preceded by extended periods of dedication and concentrated effort. The concentrated effort and periods of dedication don't come after the achievement. You don't win the race and then say, oh, I'm going to go do my training runs. Right? You can't go run the race and then go, now I'll train, now I'll practice. You don't win the championship and then start practicing. It's the practice, it's the training runs that lead to the achievement. And so what I love about what both of you did this evening, and the other 20 people on the call, because you don't get up to 60 beauty breaks booked by just a couple people's effort. There was multiple efforts here. And if you're watching back on this and you were on the call, congratulations on your success as well. I wish I could have had you all on here, but that would have ended up being at least a 5-hour call because we're all talkers. But really, whenever you think about it, it isn't about the preparation, it's about the behavior. Because Beth, you showed up and like you said, I was not prepared. But what you were willing to do was the behavior. You were willing to listen to your leader of the moment, which was Lynn, of say, I want you to do this. I believe in this behavior, and I believe in this behavior so much that I will do it without the results. And just go ahead, go do it. And you listened, you did it, you did the behavior, and I'm just thrilled. And I'm glad you're going to be tracking to see the total success of this, because I think it's going to be absolutely enormous. And so some people might be watching back on this going, oh, I wish my upline or I had a leader that would do something like this. How many people do you need to do something like this, Lynn? Like obviously you can do it on your own. It would be better to do it with someone else. Do you have to be on the same team?
Absolutely not. I mean, if you have a friend in True Aura who may even be on someone else's team or whatever, reach out to that person and say, okay, let's do this together, and let's give it 20 minutes and see how we do. Absolutely. Just, create what you have to create to do the action, whatever it takes to make you do it, right? Yeah. So, either leaders can run it, consultants with another consultant, or by yourself. I, in my mind, was like, okay, when I do this and get so many yeses, I'm going to go get that top I saw that I really fell in love with, and that was my reward, Yeah. So I had to have something to reach for, to award a carrot. I put a carrot in front of my face for myself, if you will.
And I just kind of thought of this because I did it years ago, and you could even do this cross industries. You might even know other people that have direct sales business that could benefit from some kind of booking blitz, and and those type people, and just to set up a platform and an environment. You don't have to be a leader and have this huge team. You could reach out to cross industries. They don't even have to be in direct sales, because really, whenever you think about it, reaching out, following up, and what that looks like. And it's that concentrated effort and the periods of dedication that everyone can benefit from. And if you just give a platform, and knowing that if you have support around you that helps create that momentum, and you start to see others succeed, it drives you. And so it's almost having like running partners in training for long distance run or whatever it might be. It's always easier to do it with someone else. So feel free to do that. Reach out to others and say, hey, I'm doing this and I'd love for you to join us. I think there could be some really good things in coaching in there for yourselves. Obviously, feel free to invite me onto those. I'd love to be able to give some motivation and help plan and what those look like. Beth, another thing, obviously this shouldn't be just a one-time thing, right? Like, how often do you think you could do a booking blitz?
Me or Lynn?
Anyone.
Me. Oh, I think a leader could do it, easily once a month. And I would think even myself actually could do that. But I hope to be able to incorporate that more into a follow-up text now. Once someone, is using the products and we're following up.
Which looks like a booking blitz in itself. Then you have your list of, I need to follow up with these 10 people. Okay, I'm going to follow up with all of them over the next 25 minutes. A concentrated effort of follow-up. And then all of a sudden you start to put buckets of time together and you become more efficient in your business.
Yes, which definitely I need to do. So that's a great idea.
Well, wonderful. I'll kind of open the floor real quick. If there's anything that either one of you would like to kind of share in closing, I'm thrilled that you took the time today.
Just one thing I wanted to share was I had a few friends who didn't want to be a hostess, but they wanted to come to something I did. So I booked my own party, and we'll have a mystery hostess or something like that to invite those people. And then my daughter, who is in the middle of a move right now, could not do anything in June. So I said, well, you mentioned your two friends who are looking for a business like this. Can you invite them to Phillip's True Solutions on Thursday night? So guys, don't forget about sharing the opportunity too, and letting them know, hey, if you've ever thought about this, or if you know someone, hop on this live, and it's only 25 minutes, and you'll learn a lot. And then, go from there, follow up with that too. So there's a lot of directions this can go.
Yeah, and thank you for the cross promotion there. I appreciate that. Obviously, we had different things that I do. 7 o'clock every Thursday night is our True Solutions call. There's always a link posted in the True Aura Consultants page, as well as there's recordings that you can go and send the link out straight from the YouTube page, which you're on right now. So you can always do that. Beth, any closing statement for you?
Just to piggyback with what Lynn said, having your own beauty break really will help you break the ice. Especially, if you really want to take small steps, you can have it with a few good friends, family members, or just, do a pretend one even. But there are, just to reiterate some of the things Lindsay said today, I'm not typically one that jumps on and like on the Zoom platform. I have not ever watched any of the little YouTube videos and whatever, but they're fabulous. I mean, they're very short and sweet, very direct. Saying that you don't know how to use Zoom cannot be an excuse anymore. So
that's fantastic. Well, I want to say thank you so much, both of you, for joining today with Conversations in the Loft, and to be the second guest. I couldn't have imagined having two more wonderful consultants and leaders that are really, the trajectory of your business is where everybody should want it to be. And thank you for taking the time and sharing openly. And hopefully you watching this were able to pick up on a couple nuggets of just what you would like to do in your own business and how you can actually create that momentum for yourself. Take control of your own destiny whenever it comes to True Aura. Don't use excuses. Push forward. Overcome the boundaries that are in front of you. Create momentum, and I know you can do it. Let's look forward to where we're going, and can't wait to see you soon.